Hey, what's going on, my internet family, my Locks family, and all my loves, all new potential Lock family. I hope you all consider becoming family and subscribe. And that's extended to everybody that may be watching the same. Thank you all for tuning in to Abandoned Franchise with host Father Lock. And today, I'm going to be talking about the bullshit that David Gordon Green pulled. Now, you all are very well aware of the film The Exorcist Believer that released on October 6th last year in 2023. And if you all hear some squealing going on in the background, it's because my cat Muffin had kittens. They're now a week old, and she's feeding them. They're ready to eat, and one of them is going through a thing right now. So you all, I apologize for the squeaking you may hear in the background. Up, there she goes. Yep, time to feed the babies. Sorry about that, you all. Yes, you all may or may not know that piece of shit abandoned the trilogy. David Gordon Green is no longer the director of the new trilogy to the iconic original, The Exorcist. And my question is, why the fuck did you even sign on? You knew that you were not credible enough, talented enough to ever think that you could direct a sequel to a movie that has been iconic and stood the test of time since the day it released, December 26th of 1973. And for the film to turn 50 years old, William Peter Blatty's book turning 52 years old, rest in peace, William, and William Friedkin's film turning 50 years old, December 26th of 2023, and neither one of them were alive. Neither one of them are alive to see their baby turn 50 years old. Their creation outlived them. And for us as fans who've loved this film since the day it released, this film has stood its time in horror cinema since it came out. And for you to direct that crap and wanted us to believe in it, and you didn't even believe in it yourself. What does that say to us? Were we to believe in the film? What does that say to the people that played in your film? What does that say to the two actresses that played Angela and Catherine? They already had to stand up to the iconic acting of Linda Blair and the charismatics and what she gave to the character of Reagan McNeil. Hence the reason why we all love the character Reagan so much, love Linda Blair so much, and love the film so much. What do you think that made them feel like? And then to have Linda as their technical advisor to have them mentally prepared for the exorcism scenes so they wouldn't be overly taken by the acting and, won't have any psychological problems happening trying to portray someone's being possessed by a demonic entity. What are you saying to Linda? What are you saying to Ellen Burstyn? A franchise that they made famous. What are you saying to them by abandoning this trilogy that you signed on for? How? I don't understand it. Like, I'm pissed the fuck off, and why I'm pissed more in myself, because I was trying to root for this dude. You all, do you hear me, Lock family and everybody as well? I was rooting for this dude. I even did my review on The Exorcist Believer and said, everybody give the movie a chance, and here is why. I actually apologize to you all. I'm actually taking it off of my YouTube because that just pissed me the whole fuck off. And because it got a negative review, fuck it. Why would you even come up with something like that? Have you even seen The Exorcist? We're not asking you to recreate anything that William and William did, but a credible sequel, since they never got a credible sequel. And here is why. The Exorcist was never meant to have a sequel. We were to see the story, that was the story, that's the end of the story. Because if there were meant to be any sequels, you all, look how long William Peter Blatty lived. Look how long director William Friedkin lived. This is their baby. I'm sure they would have created sequels to it, a trilogy to it, or would have gave their blessings to anyone who did sequels to it, and they didn't. Because this movie, you all, you have to understand where cinema was at that time, and especially cinema of horror. The state of horror. People were still watching vampires and werewolves and Frankenstein. And then comes The Exorcist. The graininess of the film, the documentary way that it was created. It made you think someone knew about something that was going on, got a camera, and was told they can documentate everything and every part of what was going on. This is why the film seemed so believable, seemed so real. The movie seems so real, you all. Let me just go ahead and just break it down. Do you all realize that The Exorcist is the only horror film? Psychological thriller, may I add, because it's not a horror film, it's a psychological thriller. The only psychological thriller created that had us scared of the victim. She's not the villain. Reagan is the victim, and we were mortified of her. We supposed to be feeling sorry for her, rooting for her, hoping that they can expel this demon from her. We were terrified of her. This is why this girl, as a 12-year-old, went through all these threats. Grown people sending death threats to Linda. People running from her from grocery stores, from department stores. This 12-year-old had to have that on her back. Look what all Linda went through to make this film iconic for William and William. And for you to do this? What were you thinking, dude? Like, I don't think any film that you do from now, because that's why he abandoned the Exorcist trilogy, to focus on some other bullshit that he's working on, that I don't even give a fuck about, and I don't think the world should give a fuck about. For you to take something like this, and you already ruined the Halloween franchise, and I feel like John Carpenter should beat your ass. For you to destroy Michael Myers like that, an iconic killer, an iconic person in horror cinema. If you were going to kill him off, you could have killed him off, but to have him destroyed like that, like, come on, y'all. This is why everybody hates you for it. And then for you to take something like this. Now, everybody loved Halloween. I am a big fan of Halloween and a big fan of John Carpenter as a film director. And you would go after The Exorcist. Something like this. You didn't even sit down and try to at least execute the film enough to do a sequel. The way you shot the film, the direction, you tried to do this symbolism and do these little references to the film. And then for you to go get Linda, the very reason why this film is the way it is, and to put her in your film and give her that little cameo part with hopes that that would bring some light to the film, hoping that people would just, oh my God, it's Linda. And no, you knew what you were doing. You were trying to jump on the exorcism train movie just like everybody did in the past. And every worst person who ever did, and everybody who tried to do a sequel that flopped and horribly and miserably failed. And you are added to that bunch of the many. And the one thing they did not do, neither of these people that have done sequels to The Exorcist, they did not abandon their fucking project. You are a piece of shit for that. And as a director, they need to just can your ass and throw you the fuck out of Hollywood. And every movie you do from now on should be a rated D movie. You're not even great enough to do a B movie franchise. You should just go away. Because it makes me feel like, you all, that this man purposely are taking credible work by great directors and bullshitting their work, destroying their legacies. Because like I said, you did not just leave your movie in limbo, you left their film in limbo. Their whole entire movie is now in limbo. We don't know what to expect now, because we cannot even accept your bullshit ass sequel to the film. At least when Jeremy Slater, if I'm saying his name right, did the TV series, he even did a credible TV series that was better than your sequel, which is a direct sequel to the film, The Exorcist TV series that was brought about Fox TV. They did better than you. He did better than you. And they canceled his series, and I wish they had kept it going, because they should cancel you, period, you all. Yes, I read about it, you all, and it floored me. So is The Exorcist Deceiver even going to happen? Are we to just think that our legacy of The Exorcist has died? Are we to say rest in peace to our film, y'all, because of this? Because I'm like literally sitting here doing this a video for you all and like literally trying to hold back tears. Look how old Ellen Burstyn is, and she's still here around for us to appreciate her. Look how old Linda has become. Linda is 64 years old now, you all. and how we've loved her this long, and how we've loved this movie so long, because we feel like we grew with these people for loving this film and what they brought to us, this great piece of art they've brought to us. And especially being a horror film, you all know how the world felt about horror film. Oh, it's just another hack movie. Oh, it's just another slasher flick. Oh, it's just a bunch of blonde, big boob girls getting hacked up by some masked man. It's the polar opposite of anything like that. It's too credible of a film to allow somebody to keep on putting these low class, nothing of a sequel parts to this franchise, you all. And in my opinion, I just wish they would just leave The Exorcist alone. I was privy to see this film at the tender age of 5-year-old by way of my mother. I was 5 years old when I saw The Exorcist. And being a wise person beyond his years, you all, I understood the story. I understood what she was going through. I was very well what religion was. I was very well privy to know who Christ was at a very young age. So I understood this demonic entity is inside of her, and it's hurting her, and it's killing her. Look how she looked. Look how grotesque it's doing. It's abusing her body. She can't eat. It won't leave. And it just seemed like she's getting worse and worse and worse. And I kept asking my mother, Mama, is it going to kill her? Is it going to kill her? I was so involved. And I think that's why right now to this day, and many of us as the lovers of this film, the reason why, because we were rooting for Reagan. Because literally, you all, when she cried after the last "take me" from Father Karras before he hops out of the window to take the demon with him, and Reagan cries out, I broke down. My mother had to literally tell me, baby, it's okay. Because I was like, Mommy, she's back. She's okay. She's okay. And I carried that with me throughout the years. And then to be able to go and see the re-release, The Exorcist, the version you've never seen, in the theaters when it re-released in 2002, to marvel over the fact that my mother got to see The Exorcist on the big screen and wanted to have that visual and that experience and got to have that. And then to get to have it with her, the lady who introduced me to the film, to still have my mother around, to enter her into that scare all over again in a whole new way, because now she gets to see it in the way that it was meant to be seen, past the way that it came out, the theatrical version in 1973. And then I get to experience this with her on the big screen. And now for this to come out and we joyed over this. We were so overjoyed over The Exorcist Believer and watching the trailer, and the trailer making you getting you pumped for this. I was pumped. I even did my trailer reactions to both trailers. And to get this, and then for you to want us to believe in it, and you don't believe in it. And then to add another installment ready for it, The Exorcist Deceiver. So there's The Exorcist Believer, and then possibly not to happen, The Exorcist Deceiver. And the only thing I'm to take from those titles, I'm to believe that we're deceived. We were deceived that anything could have came out of this. We should have known by Halloween to tell him to leave our film alone. And now for you to abandon it, I hope they don't leave it in limbo. Calling all great directors in Hollywood of all ages, of all races, that have seen this film and love this film as much as us as fans, and all the years that this film has been dear to us. Don't let our franchise die. Of all the franchises you all have recreated and updated and made some really credible sequels and additions to them, please don't let The Exorcist die. Because we are rooting for someone to finally give us a credible trilogy, if even not a trilogy, just some form of sequel, so that the story can continue. We just don't want the story to die. We want Reagan to have a great life beyond her exorcism. We don't want her and Chris to have this offset relationship as mother and daughter. We want to see something good come out of this. 2 priests lost their lives to save Reagan. And then that's the end. People already took that as a downer by way of what William Peter Blatty has said in many interviews. People took the ending of The Exorcist as a downer. This is why he didn't want it to be that way. And neither do we, William. God bless the dead. I hope somebody, Mr. Blatty, I hope somebody, Mr. Freakin, can finally come with a creditable sequel to a film we have loved and held dear to our hearts for so long. All right, you all, that's the end of my rant, because I can go on forever and this video will not end until the year 3085. Thank you all once again for tuning in to Abandoned Franchise with host Father Lokk, and I hope you all that we can hope and pray that our franchise don't die. All right, you all, have a wonderful day, and thanks again for tuning in. Always be safe out there, and always know that I love y'all. Bye, everybody. And long live the Exorcist.